aka Duckload, aka everything that I inadvertently misstate him, as it's hard to have two aliases in StarCraft 2. But we already see that White-rA has come out to an extremely early lead after an unbelievably aggressive opening. The one gate, one forge, cannon, zealot, try to kill you ASAP play, and it worked marvelously. Sen even pulled 100% of his drones to try to defend, and it was just not enough. He needed like 150% of his drones. Or he just needs to not early expand in proxy positions on Metalopolis. Either way, that is a horrible situation to begin a best-of-5 in. Sure, Sen can win 3 in a row and take the series down and win that $2,000 sponsored by DreamHost, but it's a hard mental state to come back from. You immediately feel fearful of everything that you could be doing. And as we see, we're going into Game 2 with Duckload Ra in the top right corner as the red Protoss, and Sen in the bottom left corner playing under the ID Softball as the blue Zerg. If you get bashed that hard at the start, you start having little fearful ideas like, ooh, maybe I need to send 2 drones down next time, or maybe I need to get my pool a little bit earlier. Your mental state encourages you to do builds you have not practiced. So that can always be a very, very large concern when you lose that first game in kind of a silly fashion. At the same time, White-rA, always good to be up 1-0 in a best-of-5. However, even better to be up 1-0, having revealed no practiced strategy. You just blasted in there right at the start. Easy peasy, dunzy, nothing difficult to it. So we do see Sen. Looks like he is continuing to just build drones. He has that Overlord en route. He's sending a drone forward. This would likely be a scout drone. Probably not going to be doing some sort of 10 hatch at... likely not going to be doing some sort of 10 hatch at expansion. The Overlord now finishes for Sen, makes 3 drones. The drone is now crossing the center of the map. We do see Duckload doing a 12 gateway, which is somewhat of an early gateway, but... will allow you to get your cybernetics core a little bit earlier, but historically we haven't really seen Duckload do anything particularly noteworthy with that faster gateway. There is, of course, the obligatory worker high five, as they will begin now scouting one another. White-rA should be pretty certain that his opponent is in the bottom left, as they did high five in the middle, and most Zergs already have that Overlord heading down to the horizontal position, but it looks like a little bit of a blunder from Duckload, checking the top left position first. Continued chrono boost by Duckload. Will be building a pylon. Great placement to, of course, spot that backdoor, even though it's very unlikely to happen on this map. We also do see the gas now finishing. Meanwhile, in Camp Zerg, wow, that's very, very good play by Softball. He lost last game with a hatch pool build. Not a problem. He's going to give it another shot with the hatch pool build. We do see that probe is now scouting, sees that there is that hatchery going down. The drone is continuing to loop around the main, and this can be quite a pain for the Protoss, because literally nothing can be done until a Stalker arrives in town, and a gas steal from Softball. Very cool play. We don't see this as much against Protoss, but this immediately limits Void-Ray harassment. It limits big aggression with 3 gates and sentries early on. It limits a lot of uncommon one-base robo-facility plays. So this is very, very exciting to see this sort of thing happen, especially after you early expand as Zerg. The one thing you're really going to be worried about is any of those early pressure tech plays. So this is a great opportunity also for Sen to just build a ton of roaches. Because, I mean, really, what can what can Duckload do? Can he make a whole bunch of Stalkers and Zealots? Well, a lot of roaches is going to work quite nicely against that. We have seen Sen do a lot of big roach play in the mid-game, so I'm quite excited now to see the outcome of this match. Looks like Sen is going to just try to, Duckload is going to try to kill off this extractor as fast as possible. Spawning pool is now finished. 1 queen in the main, 1 queen at the expansion. Just 2 Zerglings to repel this little Probaroo from doing anything more in the main. That one Stalker is almost out, and it looks like there it now arrived. But interestingly enough, we've seen Duckload pretty consistently go for an early expand on this map, and there it goes down very early. Before even building gateways 2 and 3, generally you see players get those out mighty, mighty fast. And look at this, that one probe is going to be living just fine. Yeah, look at the probe who wants to get in the fight. Whatever, my big brother's here. No problem. I will throw the stone first as well. We do see that Zergling speed is going down. Meanwhile, at the expansion, we see a defensive spine crawler going up for Sen. Doesn't want to lose to any of this early pushing. The 1 Stalker, 1 Zealot play is extremely common way to mess with Zerg early on. Two Spine Crawlers going to come up, but not going to be up in time. So this might be a good chance to do a little bit of damage. That Queen is always a welcome defense. Going to be able to do a little bit of poking damage at that Stalker. We see some more Zerglings arriving as well. And we also see, oh my goodness, oh no, White-rA is going directly for the Queen. Is the Queen going to die? He needs to retreat with the Queen. It has 6 health left. Oh, Sen! Sen! Oh, man. Wow, that was pretty cool. Great little control there. The Zealot was convinced he was going to do his job, but Sen pulls out right at the last second. We do see that those gateways are now finishing the Chrono Boost on the Cybernetics core. Gateways now en route. Nexus finishing. Duckload getting an extremely fast third Geyser. Likely going to be going for some sort of Stargate transition, as we've seen him do that frequently on this map. Roachwarren now going down for Sen, and again, Sen is one of these players that loves getting Roachwarrens early on quite a bit. He's even beginning to send Zerglings to the northern location, so that way he can do some damage to the back door of his opponent. This is always a vulnerable spot for Protoss. There's the Stargate going down for Duckload. We'll be getting a whole bunch of Void-Rays to do a good amount of damage, pick off Overlords, bolster that inevitable Void-Ray Colossus army that, of course, our good buddy Duckload loves so much. Extractors going down for Softball. Extra Queen coming out. Roachwarren about to finish. But it looks like Sen is probably not going to be making too many Roaches. We see him committing almost exclusively to drones at this juncture. Looks like he was getting that early Roachwarren just as a defensive precaution, as we have seen Morrow struggle with some early plays that Duckload's done without that early Roachwarren. +1 upgrade coming down. Very well-placed units here from Duckload. There is the Stargate finishing now, and a Void Ray is getting built. No Chrono Boost on the Void Ray quite yet. It looks like Duckload is Chrono Boosting probes exclusively, but still have to be a little bit careful, as those destructible rocks are always a huge threat. Hatch is getting close to finish. Sen's a big fan of that Burrow plus Speed Roach play. Let's see what he does now that he does have that tech up. Will he end up getting that Glial Reconstitution? Doesn't look quite like it. Looks like the Expand is coming up. Roach is going down right now. No use of that layer tech has been made as of now, but you got to be very careful as Zerg, because the Void Ray is just now finishing. Here comes some Zerglings to the back door, but Sen, always a watchful eye. Warps units right in, repels it. There's the Burrow and the Glial Reconstitution. The Burrow and Speed upgrade for the Roaches. Sen getting a little frisky, thinking, hey, maybe I can do a little bit of damage here. No cannons, no Robo Facility. Duckload is trying to use all cutesy defense. You now see the Void Ray maneuvering around the map. Both Xel'Naga Watchtowers under control from our Taiwanese superhero Sen. Wonder what Softball's going to be doing with these Roaches, whether he's going to be pushing aggressively, pushing hard, or playing back defensively. We see a good amount of Queens getting produced, and the Hydra Den, but Sen is supply blocked, needs to get unsupply blocked fast. Oh my god, he needs to make more Overlords. He is capped at 83 of 84 and only has 2 Overlords coming in here. Duckload is not only going to kill off this Overlord, but spot that critical expansion. And will there be enough time to take it down? It looks like, yes. It looks like those slow Queens huffing and puffing their way, baby elephant style, trying to get to the top. And it looks like, yes, the Void Ray does manage to do its job, escape without too much hull damage. The Burrow and Speed are almost finished for those Roaches. Sen could do a little bit of damage, but instead has just regrouped in the center of the map. And the food counts, we do see that the Zerg player a little bit behind the Protoss player. But either way, this big Immortal Void Ray mix is going to be a little bit of a threat. We don't see any Colossus Den coming up yet for the Protoss player. 2 Void Rays out right now for Duckload. Sen is being appropriately cautious and adding on more Queens to this left side. And man, look at how committed he is to that Void Ray play. There's the +1 air weapons. There's the attack upgrade for Sen. He's getting a good amount of Hydralisk now. Burrow, was apparently canceled and is now being re-researched. The Groove Spine upgrade now nearing completion. The Roach is continuing to waddle around the map, not doing particularly too much. But as usual, as every good Zerg player should do, Sen is getting plenty and plenty of drones. See, pretty half-ish defense here by Duckload. He's now walling it all off, and it looks like, as usual, he's going to swing around the backside of the map. Oh no! Oh gosh! It looks like Duckload Ra is intending on expanding here, but he's going to be able to attack through this vulnerable left location because of the fact that Sen already knocked these rocks down. This could be a huge loss right here for Sen. who was just trying to do a little bit of early aggression. It is coming back to haunt him at this later stage. The Spire only now halfway done. We see one Colossus being produced as well. More Void Rays coming up. Here they are heading through the center of the map then. Nexus is now going down for Duckload. Pylon finishing up as well. This is a pretty intimidating force coming up right now. The Roaches beginning to make their way up to the north end. It looks like they have an idea of what's up, and they're going to get spotted. If they get cut off by that sentry, that could be huge, but it looks like Sen's going to bring the fight to them, and they get cut off. The Queen falls. The Roaches are getting pinned. The rest of the units get trapped up on the high ground. Very awesome burrow timing there by Sen, but he needs to get a lot of units up fast. 24 Lings and 2 Hydras are it, though. But it looks like a lot more Hydrals have hatched and are coming. More Zerglings coming. Wow, a lot of units for Sen being poured out right now, but it looks like very leery moving forward. And there's the Observer. All the burrowed units taking some serious pain. Now it looks like they have to unburrow if they want to do any damage, but Sen misclicks and burrows more of his units on accident. So many Hydras being produced. It looks like the best mix to deal with this composition of Protoss, but you got to be careful because there are a lot of Colossi coming up right now for Duckload. Looking around, he is just on 3 gates, 1 Stargate, 1 Robo, taking that northern expansion very, very nicely timed, and this is going to be absolute hell for this Zerg player. Generally, you see the Zerg trying to curl up to this north expansion as though he is guaranteed to get it, but in this case, we see that Zerg is anything but in this particular circumstance. There are no Corruptors coming up right now. A lot of minerals and not a lot of gas for Sen. Now he's realizing and putting some more drones to work. We do see that the 2 evolution chambers are done, but still cannot quite afford to do anything with it, as he needs 150 gas, only 100 in the bank, and still there needs to be more Corruptors. There's that extra hatch being planted, as you can support it when you're macroing very, very well. Looking around, it looks like still White-rA not committing to any more unit-producing structures. A touch of a blunder at this phase of the game. Want to be adding on rapidly to the unit-producing structure count because of the fact that you now have an up-and-running 3rd base and you're on 6 geysers. Well, I guess 5.666 because he is missing one of those workers there. Never want to do that. Big Hydraling army coming out for Sen. And here's the worst part for Zerg. What you can do as Protoss is just wait until you're maxed to push. Zerg is constantly having to make these somewhat inefficient units. The Zerglings are not particularly useful in a maxed army. You want to have more of those gas-heavy units in a maxed army. So this is great if the Protoss attacks quickly, but if Protoss waits to attack, it can be a just almost impossible situation for Zerg. And it looks like 6 Void Rays, 3 Colossus, and a big ground army coming up. Sen's going to try to hit it at a very, very nice arc. This is a pretty good angle for the Zerg. The Void Rays are falling quite quickly, but now that the Zerglings are evaporating, the Zealots are starting to dart forward. Some pretty good control there by Sen as he's trying to pick off those Zealots in the front, but he has to get down the ramp. If he gets caught off with the force field, that would be horrible. But no, he manages to stay alive. 40 Lings coming up right now for the Zerg player. Tons of Zerglings trying to stream forward, but look at those Colossi at the back. Corruptors out right now, but the Void Rays are picking those off fast as well. The Colossi on the high ground doing so much damage. This is exactly the plan that Duckload had in mind, swinging along that top side. Roach is trying to get produced for Sen right now. Streaming out, but it's not enough. And good game. Duckload takes the series 2-0. He is unstoppable today. Cannot believe that White-rA had that many tournaments against that many good players. And here he is, 1 game away from winning the Root Gaming Warzone tournament sponsored by DreamHost against one of the best Zergs around. Let's see if he can close the deal in Game 3 or whether Sen will pull the mirror.